Well, hello. This is Rochelle, and thank you for joining me here on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel for a little bit of a different kind of video today. Um, Obviously, this is the end of March, and we are, for the most, in all of the world, battling this similar crisis. And I don't want to say too much about the crisis in itself. I do want to speak to the tremendous privilege and responsibility that we as Christians have in this time. And before I do so, I want to just tell you a bit of what I'm doing. I am documenting being a part of the Creative Retreat design team for 2020. It is a tremendous honor for me, such a huge privilege, and I count it all joy. It is sometimes a little tough with schedules and all of those things, and not just for me, for all of the ladies on the team. Obviously, we all have families. This is not our full-time job, and so we have to make time for these kinds of things. And so I'm documenting how super important this is to me in a little traveler's journal that I started with some of the other projects that I've been privy to, including Hobby X here in South Africa, which is a local trade market, craft trade market. And I'm just so thankful that the Lord would choose someone like me, an ordinary person with no art training or skill or special learning to be able to do any of this. Bible journaling for me started out as something where I could just find some peace in a house full of teenagers and being bedridden at the time, in the sense of having had a very big back operation. It really is a place of peace for me. And I started recording the first video just because I so wanted to share this peace that I found with those around me. And so as I was reading this devotional for this month and going through the printables, because in South Africa I don't have the physical kit yet, and that's also, counting it all joy. Even if I don't have the physical product, I'm so thankful that there are other ways in which I can engage with this group of ladies, this community of Bible journalers, using what you have and using it as you can. So like I said, art-wise, just took all of the printables, the Digital Faithfilled Digitals, and I pretty much cut them all up and then tore them all to pieces. And I'm creating like a bit of a textured, staggering effect where I'm going to be documenting or putting this little photo that was posted on Instagram of the design team. Please go check out these ladies. They are so super talented, and more than talented, their hearts for God is just what it really is all about, and something I'm truly thankful for with Danielle as well, that even though I've never met her in person, and being on the other side of the world, I mean, one of my dreams since I started Bible journaling was to kind of meet Lindsay, and it was absolutely fangirling in the sense that I love what they do. But as I've gotten to know them as much as one can over the internet, I've really fallen in love with their hearts for God in everything that they do, in mothering, in journaling, in having a channel, in being wives, just however and whatever they do, we do. Really, I believe that our hearts are for God. And so as I was going through this devotional written by Jen Coram, who's done some work for the team before, I was really struck and again just reminded that these things that we go through, these postpartum depressions or these illnesses or autoimmune diseases or whatever it is that we face, the current situation globally, in our economies, in the fear of the unknown, all of these things we need to understand and count it as joy. Now, I'm pretty sure that by day 5 or 6 or whenever, maybe even day 2 of complete isolation with a house full of people, I have 4 teenagers, that, my situation is not, it's not a disaster, but it might feel like that to me. And herein lies the true meaning of these verses, that whatever tribulations you go through, not at all making small of the tribulations, but making big of the God. The God we serve is bigger than the tribulation. It's bigger than the trial. He is the one who produces character and hope in us. And how can he do that? We read Jesus' story, Jesus being a man on earth in a physical body, suffering physical affliction, and we read his attitude in it all. Firstly, he said, "Not my will, but yours be done." And secondly, he spoke and he said, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. So that means that knowing that this cup was very heavy to drink of, in fact, so heavy that he sweat blood in anxiety for it, and still for that joy that was set before him, he endured the cross. And so for today, that's the title I chose, is For the Joy. This task of being on this team, it's not a burden at all. Like I said, some days, things are tough. Internet doesn't want to work. Third world problem kind of thing. Can't get my videos uploaded as fast as I want to. Can't find the time to quietly sit down and journal. And not having the physical kit in South Africa. Whatever the situation may be, on time, whatever. This is not a burden. And if I get stuck in that place where I complain, where I become like the Israelites and complain about the things that isn't working about it, I get stuck in my life. This then becomes a burden. But here's the thing. Going through this devotional and just documenting this moment of being chosen for another year of this design team, my heart is just so overwhelmed at the beautiful and great privilege that I have to share the gospel with the world from my little dining room desk with my cell phone camera and my little light and real life with real noises and non-professional sound. With all of that, that God would choose someone like me to share the gospel is beyond me. But that should encourage you today, that no matter if your art is all kinds of scraps, or if your layout on your Bible page doesn't work the way you wanted it to, or if the Instagram picture of it doesn't have the right lighting or the right white balance, or whatever the situation may be, that you understand that this time with God is so sacred and so special, and this opportunity that we have to go through the same word together as a community is so incredibly special, and we can be so grateful to technology for being able to do that. And for that, I'm just eternally thankful. I am eternally thankful. Thank you to each and every person watching the videos that go out on this channel, for the support to these girls, for joining us every month in this Faith Art Box and downloading the digitals and interacting in the Facebook Insiders group. All of that I don't take for granted, and I know that the rest of the team doesn't either. So like I said, art-wise, real quick, just tore the pages, staggered it in a diagonal line over the layout, tucked in some of the elements that I cut out, outlined it with a yellow Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen. I did some splatters with a yellow buttercream gelato. I added a little tag from washi, or ribbon from washi, made from Creative Retreat washi, through this little tag that says persevere. And then I'm just journaling using an S nib in the Faber-Castell pen, my gratitude, my thankfulness, my counting it all joy, and understanding that it is for the joy that is set before us, that we endure whatever we endure. Again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to the team and to you ladies watching and gentlemen watching, anybody watching, that you tune in every week for these videos and support us. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.